Oh, hello and welcome to another Trimcraft Tuesday video. For this week's video, I thought I would do another scrapbook layout with the very gorgeous Botanical Beauty paper pad from first edition. So you saw a photo just there at the very beginning, but I actually decided against using that photo. It's that picture there of my nephews, but I thought actually it would go a lot better with the Lost and Found collection. So hopefully I'll do that over the coming weeks, and decided on this picture of me and my eldest sister. We'll talk about it in a mo. I'll just talk about what I was doing. So you saw that sort of round shape there, which I cut out on my silhouette, just a random pretty vaguely tropical sort of shape that I found on the Silhouette store, and it was on sale as well, so whoop whoop, about 40 pence or something. So yeah, cut that out on my silhouette as big as I possibly could. I have a Silhouette portrait, so I can only cut up to about 8 inches wide, but yes, I decided on having just a white background for this one because I knew there was going to be a lot of stuff going on around the cut file, so I didn't want to have a pattern paper background. And I'm just throwing on a little bit of the Lindy's Magical Shakers in the colour, what is it, California Poppy Gold. If you haven't seen the Lindy's before, they're just like Brush-O powders. You know, you tap a little bit onto your paper or your surface or whatever, you spray on some water and it reacts with the water and makes beautiful things happen. So yes, that's what I did with that. I thought I'd go with the California Poppy Gold. Is basically a really nice yellow colour with some gold shimmer to it. I thought I didn't want to go over gold because that's kind of what I did in my last project, and I wanted to make it, you know, a bit different, so I went with yellow instead. And now I'm just using my X-Cut circle cutter to cut out circles at, I think, about 8.5 or 9 inches, and then another one, I'm going to say 7 inches, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. Just for like a base for that cut file I made. And then, of course, I am backing the cut file. Now, I'm sure you've seen this 1,000 times already, so I will cut out a bunch of it. But yes, backing the cut file. The way I do it is I flip the shape over, so I can trace on the reverse side of the paper, and then you don't have to worry about rubbing out or erasing your pencil lines. So yes, I did just do one small one to start off with, just to make sure it looked good. But then for those areas, I think it's supposed to be like rope or something, I actually kind of did those in big chunks. But yes, once you have your little shape cut out with scissors, obviously you cut it slightly bigger than your pencil line, use a fine line glue bottle, put glue around the edges, and then pop it on like that, and there we go. That's how you do that. But as I say, I'm sure you've seen this 1,000 times before, but I always think it's good to leave at least a little bit in case someone is watching who hasn't seen it. So yes, as I said, I then did it in slightly larger chunks. And yes, so I'm not changing I've lost my train of thought. I'm not changing the background paper too much. A lot of the time when you do cut files, you kind of, you know, in each separate little space do a different pattern paper. I didn't want it to be that complex, so I've just used the very lovely gold foil paper to go around that sort of ropey section. And then I wanted something for the middle of the flowers, the hibiscus flowers, and there wasn't anything right to use in that particular paper pad. I wanted like a really deep red colour. There are some red colours in there, but they're already flowers, so it might have looked weird if I tried to use those. So basically I've just pulled out an older first edition paper pad. This is the Storyteller one, and I've gone for the first paper in there, which is this really lush deep red and sort of pinks and greens, and it also has tiny little, I don't know what they are, there's like little shiny diamondy kind of bits on them, little gems or something. But the shape was too, especially on the smaller flower, don't know where I'm at today. On the smaller flower, it was too complicated to cut it, so I've actually just cut a circle to glue onto the back, and then I'm going to cut that when it's dry, and then the bigger ones I did in the classic style. But yes, off camera, I paper stitched my larger circle on there. I was just showing you that there. And there you can see me using a craft knife to cut out those edgy bits that are sticking out of the flowers there, because it was too small a space to get the scissors into. So yes, using the craft knife instead, just to pull those out. Trying to be careful not to, you know, injure myself though, because craft knives, they are very, very sharp. So that's all done there. And then I wasn't actually too happy about the cut file being white. It was too white for me, so I'm just very, very lightly going in with some Distress Oxide, some green on that sort of ropey bit, and then some what's that colour, squeezed lemonade onto the flowers itself. I'm not like really colouring them, I'm just really lightly dabbing it, so it just, you get like a hint of the colour. It actually makes quite a cool pattern on that just piece of scrap paper I was using as well. So you could probably do that if you had to cut file, just distress Oxide over it, or use another ink of your favourite, whatever, and then you can use the negative for something as well. But anyway, of course, what am I doing now? So I've die cut a lot of things for this layout. The parrot you see and the other parrot I use and the butterflies and stuff, those are all fussy cut from the paper pad, but all these little leaves and stuff I'm using, I've used the first edition tropical themed die set, to just die cut all these little leaves and stuff. I just pulled out random papers from the paper pad and die cut a load. I've put them roughly where I want them and took a picture, as I always do, and then I'm putting another circle in the middle there. I didn't think it would be right to just have the cut file over that main green circle. As much as I love that paper, like with all the leaves and stuff, I think it's really pretty. It didn't look right to not have another thing in the middle, so that's why I cut that second circle. And then I just stuck down all these little leaves, and this did take quite a while. As you see, they're quite intricate shapes, so you've kind of got to use like a fine liner glue bottle. I'm actually using my Nuvo tacky glue here because it actually comes out quite finely, so yeah, just putting it on like so. And as I say, that did take some time. Now I did at some point realise that you might want to see the die pack, and I do put it in shot for you to just like see what it looks like. It happens eventually, I don't know, so but yeah, just putting on all the things like that. So the picture, as I said, is me and my eldest sister. We are actually at some bluebell woods, and I know you might be thinking, bluebell woods and tropical rainforest, those aren't exactly the same thing. And yeah, you would be right. But firstly, I've never been anywhere tropical in my life. I certainly don't have any pictures that would be appropriate, but I'm trying to get away from very literal scrapbooking because I think I do it too much. There's nothing wrong with it. I love literal scrapbooking, you know, picture of my cat, use cat stuff, picture of a tree, use trees. I don't know, but it doesn't have to be bluebell woodsy. Oh, there's that die set in shop, by the way, if you wanted to see what it looked like. But yeah, I just thought it's still green and lush and nature and stuff, so that's just why I'm doing that. I didn't have to use die cuts of bluebells or whatever, so yeah, that's kind of my theory there. I'm also using some little fussy cut pieces that were left over from my last project, just a couple of the little flowers and stuff, putting those on there, little pops of white and red sticking up. And then backing my photo, I did decide it needed, because when I tried to back it just straight onto the green, it got a bit lost on the layout, so I've just given it a very, very thin border of white cardstock, then the green, and then I was like, still not happy, so I'm bringing in that foiled paper again. It just really helps it, you know, pop off the page like so. And if you saw me doing something weird with my double-sided tape then, because mine is doing this weird thing where the backing doesn't come off properly. Like the white backing comes off, but then there's another layer of backing that's like not coming off, so it's not sticky on both sides. So I'm now having to like test it every single time I pull backing off, whether I need to pull another layer of backing off. It's really annoying. Has anyone else found this problem? Like, have Hobbycraft had a really bad batch of double-sided tape or something? Anyway, tangent. What am I doing now? Butterflies, of course. I love my butterflies. I didn't want to over butterfly it because I put on many butterflies on my last layout, but just a couple because I love them so much and they go with it as well. I decided I wanted a white butterfly there, so I'm very specifically putting a butterfly there, that one I'm putting down now, because the way the Lindys work is there's multiple colours within them, and sometimes you get a colour come up that's like nowhere near the colour you're using. So there was a little speckly bit of like blue and red, and I just needed to cover that up because that was just not okay. So from this point, there really needed to be something in the top left corner. So I've pulled out just that little label sticker from the Vicky Boutin sticker book. Another fussy cut parrot. I'm just stamping the date on there, the date that we went to these woods, not the date of creation, as it were. And I'm going for the title, We Love This Place, because we do love the Bluebell Woods at Poulton. They're so lovely. They really are. We try and go every year. And so, yes, we love this place. Was just the obvious thing. The this place part is obviously pre-made. That was from a crepe paper collection. And, ooh, Facebook notification. I will just put my computer on mute there. Yeah, you may have trouble finding those because it has been out a while. As ever, I will try and link them if I can. They are a pain to stick down as well. You have to put so much glue on them. They are supposedly sticky on the back, but to that. I very rarely journal on my layouts, as you guys know, but I just thought, especially with the whole thing where it's tropical and we're not in a tropical place, I would just say where we are. And I've just put something like at our favourite place, the Bluebell Woods that we go to every year kind of thing, something like that. Those little stickers I'm using there also from the Crepe Paper Oasis collection. I've just put it, one said spring, which is perfect because Bluebell Woods just scream spring, really, don't they? Love me some bluebells. So I'm just having like a little cluster up there, putting that at a little angle just to be fun. And then using a couple of those hearts from that same Crepe Paper pack just to have them around and have things matching and all that. Then a couple of phrases from that sticker pack. I can't read what they like, sunny days, love, that kind of thing. And then I'm just adding some of these Simply Creative teeny weeny tiny little gold gems just on there like that. And oh look, my blade fell out of my craft knife. That's safe, isn't it? Erg. I do have a new one arriving soon, but should have arrived yesterday. But because Parcel Force are the most useless delivery company in the world, it hasn't arrived yet. I'm not going to start ranting about that because I'm really, really cross. I know there are bigger problems in the world, but Parcel Force, why are you so useless? Anyway, I'm just adding loads of those little gems on there. I do tend to add a lot of little gems or Nouveau drops or enamel dots, but I just like lots of little details like that. That's my style. It's what I like. And I'm just finishing off. It needed splatters. And I decided, instead of using gold Heidi Swapp, because that would be the obvious thing, I'm actually using Heidi Swapp in the colour Citron, or Citron, I suppose, if you're French, or want to say it properly. I apologise to any French speakers, my French is atrocious. But yeah, it's just this lovely bright lime green, and I thought it went really, really well on the layout. I don't know how well you can see it, but yes, there it is. So there we go, finished! Thank you so, so much for watching. As always, links will be as many links as possible down in the description box, so go check those out if you are interested. And other than that, it is time for me to go. I've already said thank you, but I'll say it again. Okay, going. Bye bye.